Now, before we get into it, I just want you to realize that the original video, it's since been taken down. And so, kind of suspicious, don't you think? Coach Greg, in today's video, a natty or not on Quinton Pulliam. He recorded a video, posted it on Instagram, and said, I'm going to prove that I'm 100% natural. And in it, he said, look at my testosterone levels. Imagine taking drugs to get big. Cookbook pathetic.
Natural. So I'm going to show you guys my testosterone results. As you can see, here's my photo up here. This is from my chart. Testosterone normal range is 264 to 916. On April 12th, I was at 507, sort of in a mini cut. Then 2 days before the show on 11/3, my testosterone was the number 13.
And so essentially he's saying, look, my testosterone levels were within the normal range, and then they were crushed, as in chemically castrated, to that of a 95-year-old woman. His results were literally 13. Remember Isaiah Miranda? Even his were in the 20s. And so did he in fact prove he was natural or prove that he was unnatural? And listen, if your testosterone levels are in the normal range, and then months later your testosterone levels are 1/20th of what they should be, there's something wrong. There's something clearly going on. And so his opinion is, well, it's normal. I was on a diet. I was cutting down. I was under 6% body fat. And so therefore my testosterone was next to nothing. Do you know what really can cause your testosterone to be that low? Taking SARMs. Taking performance-enhancing drugs like Tren, Ostarine, Rad 140, illegal drugs, as in PDs to help you get bigger. And so when you take these drugs, what happens is your natural production of testosterone goes down. And so rather than proving he was natural, he in fact did the opposite. Now listen, even though his test levels were this low, it doesn't prove he's a fake natty. Proves he's a moron, but doesn't prove he's a fake natty. Do you know why? Because it's possible that the blood work that was done, they made a lab error, as in a mistake. There is a small chance, perhaps 1 in 1,000, that the doctor made a mistake. That it wasn't actually 13, perhaps it was 130. And so it's possible that the guy is in fact natural, but based on this blood work, based on these results, there's no way this guy is natural. And so what's more likely? That the lab results were wrong, that there was an error, a mistake? Or that this guy was in fact on PDs while doing the actual blood work? And so just because your testosterone levels are low or in the normal range does not mean you're not taking performance-enhancing drugs. Listen, when you take Tren or Anavar or Ostarine or Rad 140, your testosterone does not go up. When you take testosterone, your testosterone goes up. And so when I last did my blood work and I'm on HRT, my testosterone levels were below 600 nanograms per deciliter. That's right, below 600. And so I'm in the normal range, but doesn't mean I'm natural. But consider this, if I stayed on the same dose I am right now and added in Anavar, D-Bol, Tren, my testosterone levels would still be in the normal range. But I would be abusing PDs. I would be getting the results of all the other steroids I'm taking. And so these lab results, all they can do is show you how much testosterone is the person on. And so clearly, the guy wasn't on a lot of tests. Was he in fact natural at the time? We don't know. The lab results show that he's not. But one thing that really concerns me, one thing that troubles me, is how could a doctor get these results and not press further? Not say to the guy, what is wrong with you? What's going on? Do you have Addison's disease, kidney dysfunction? What is the problem? And so it's not normal, and no one should think that your testosterone levels are going to be this far suppressed just because you're on a diet. Imagine if that were the case. Do you know how dangerous it is to have testosterone levels this low? If it was in fact this dangerous to be natural and go on a diet, no one would ever want to go on a diet. These results are atrocious, horrible, not normal, and the doctor should have pressed further. And the fact that he did not, well, that scares me. And so what Quinton is thinking is, well, I was on a diet, I wasn't eating carbs, and so that's why my testosterone is that of a 95-year-old grandma. But that is not normal. No one should have testosterone levels this low, unless, of course, you're abusing PEDs. And so let's dive further into his lab results and see, could he in fact be abusing PEDs? And so let's examine his AST. That's a measure of his liver function. And how was it? Well, reference range for normal is 40 and below. His number's 90. That's twice the normal range. And you know what can cause elevated ST? Steroids. SARMs, performance-enhancing drugs. Also, of course, alcohol. But do you think that in the days leading up to the show, the guy is abusing alcohol? I certainly don't think so. But is it more likely the guy was perhaps taking Anavar or some form of steroid, perhaps halotestin, to help him dry out for the show? To perhaps help him look better on stage? Of course it is. And so, based on his AST, there is something going on. But you know what would really help? Let's look at his LH and FSH. And so when you're abusing steroids, your LH and FSH will be suppressed. And so let us see his results. There are none. It doesn't show them. And so imagine trying to prove that you're natural and not showing LH and FSH, which is required to see what's going on. And so based on the ratio of LH to FSH, it would certainly give us an indication of, is this guy actually taking something? But it's not there. His results, the blood work, is utterly useless aside from saying, guy's probably a fake natty. And so he sent me all his blood work and gave me his story and says, look, I'm natural. I've never taken anything. Because look at my skin. It's very clear and I haven't lost my hair. How's my hair? He said he had no clue that low testosterone was an indication of PD use. Well, obviously, because if he did, he wouldn't have posted the video. And if you look at the comments are saying, yeah, you just outed yourself. Comment after comment saying, hey, this is worse than Isaiah Miranda. This is Isaiah Miranda all over again. And what's really funny to me is I 100% thought that this guy was natural. Based on his physique, based on how he looked, I thought, yeah, probably natural. But to say that you don't have acne and you haven't lost your hair and therefore you're natural, that is not an indication that somebody is natural. Balding can occur if you're natural or enhanced. I never went bald and abused PDs for 10 years. Also, never had a ton of acne. And oftentimes people have a ton of acne and are going bald and they're 100% natural. And vice versa. And so don't think, oh, I'm not going bald and I don't have a bunch of acne, that proves I'm natural. And so he did a 12-week prep. He went from 175 pounds to 152. And frankly, with years of training on your belt, with above average genetics, I fully believe that a guy can get into the 150 plus pound zone as in a lightweight bodybuilder while being natural. I certainly did it. And so based on these results, I'm torn because I personally thought he was natural until I saw his blood work. And I don't think anyone would be so stupid as to post your blood work showing suppressed levels of testosterone and thinking, well, this proves that I'm natural. And so if he was actually on performance-enhancing drugs, would he not have thought, well, this shows that I'm not natural, I just won't say it? I mean, if you really want people to believe you're natural, just say, hey, I'm natural. Look at my physique. Does it really look that ridiculous that no one could achieve that naturally? And so he's poured his life into this, he says. He takes pride in being natural. But the problem is these results, they prove otherwise. And so I most certainly would go to the doctor and ask, why have you dug further into this? It would be analogous to going to your doctor, getting your blood pressure taken, and it's 200 over 120. Should be 120 over 80, but it's 200 over 120. And the doctor says nothing. Really? What is the point of getting blood work if you're not given advice to do something about it when there's a problem? This clearly, definitively shows there is something going on. This is not normal, and no one should expect to ever have testosterone levels of 13 just because they're on a diet. Even if you stayed up 3 days straight, partying harder than last time on all kinds of rec drugs, not sleeping, not eating, at 5% body fat, this is still not normal. Lab test results simply an error based on the fact that his testosterone levels were lower than Isaiah Miranda, that his AST was 90, which is double the normal reference range, and that it doesn't show LH or FSH. I think it's only fair to conclude that this guy is not natural. And so unless the doctor comes back and says, yep, it was a lab error, we made a mistake, we apologize, and it will never happen again, because imagine this, you get your blood pressure taken and it's 200 over 120. And rather than that, the doctor says it's 120 over 80. Yay! You're perfect. Then you'll have a heart attack the next day. How can a medical establishment test your blood work and make such grave errors? These can potentially be life or death situations. And so I certainly would hope that the lab test results are going to double check the results and see if it's normal. And if you get a result such as this, 13, ask questions. Don't say, oh, I was on a diet. I slept in that day. I never slept at all. I fasted. It's not normal to have testosterone levels of 13 when the normal reference range is 250 to close to 1,000. Especially if you're 600 several months prior. You don't go from 600 plus to 13 in several months without something drastic happening. And no, just going on a diet, doing a natural bodybuilding show is not going to cause that level of suppression. Remember, if you are on a diet, you have low body fat levels, your testosterone levels, they can go down. If you're overtraining, so many things can result in this. And so if you do experience this, please check out G-Test or 3-Test. These products contain ashwagandha, Fedosia agressus, and Tom Catalee, Ali's favorite, and can increase your testosterone levels by several hundred nanograms per deciliter. That is in fact very substantial, and it's unlike the old test boosters, which were hardly effective whatsoever. Even Andrew Huberman on the Joe Rogan podcast spoke to the effectiveness of these ingredients, and so please use code GREG, 10% off. Click the link in description if you're interested in getting that. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe now. Watch one of the 2 bloops. Get the freaking cookbooks, the training books, the circle diet book, the coaching plans from me and my team. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IFB Pro, and until next time, I am out.